of distributing new ships. They've announced this on Russia. We're not entirely sure if this is going to be the same on EU, but the German submarine is going to be RB. That's good. Generally, RB ships don't tend to be quite as popular as steel and coal, so that means less subs. So, thumbs up, because this thing seemed... This was the one that did... Wasn't this the one that did 40 knots underwater? I think this one might have been coal on EU. It might have been coal on EU, and its research points on... What the hell is this music? Terrible. And the Soviet commissioner... Isn't it commissar? Commissioner? Google Translate. Soviet cruiser commissioner will be steel. I think that's gonna be... We don't know what that's on EU yet, do we? I think it's steel on EU, isn't it? I think this might be the same on EU. But no, that thing isn't that interesting. 40 knots, yeah, that thing did something like 40 knots underwater, I think. It was something really, really silly. Like even more silly than already their silly bullshit. But no, this is interesting. Close test new map. This is on Russia, but considering how much they share assets, I would assume, copium, that these shared assets will pop up on EU as well. New maps. Honestly, their latest edition of maps wasn't exactly very... Their two latest, in fact, maps that they've added after they took a break to do the submarine underwater world, they haven't been particularly good. But maybe they'll figure it out now. Close testing of a prototype of a new card will begin, I assume, new map. Its working title is Button. It is currently in the early stages of testing, and many changes may be made to it in the future based on statistics and feedback. According to our idea, the map is intended for high-level battles. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're gonna make maps for low-level ships anymore. No one plays low-level anymore. And testing will take place on ships of tier 8 to 10. Wow, how rare. 3 modes will be available on it. Superiority, I assume domination, and standard battle. Bro, why do they still add standard battle? Standard battle is such a garbage game mode. It's like, it doesn't even work particularly well in World of Tanks, which is where they copied it from. But it's terrible in World of Warships because there's no incentive to push at all. So the best way to win standard battles is just sit and spawn and wait until the enemy pushes in and loses the game. And in fact, most of the games you lose on standard battles is your team pushing in and losing. It's a terrible game mode that it sucked like 7-8 years ago, and it still sucks. And for some reason, Wargaming is hell-bent on keeping it in the game, which is completely baffling. Like, there could literally be one game mode in this game, and that's domination. And then there could be separate game modes for shit like airship escort, and that would be thumbs up. I love for them to do standard battle separate game mode, just to check the popularity of the game mode and see how few people bother queuing up for that. Okay, what the hell is this? This is two brothers, but it's split into half sideways as well. Interesting. I mean, there's a lot of flanking options here. There's a lot of flanking options on this map. Of course, carriers will ruin it a lot, because they always do. Okay, on this side they get the carrier, like, Wargaming goes out of the way. If you know, how do you know your class is special? Because Wargaming gives you a little island in your spawn to hide behind. That's your positional requirements. Find the island that Wargaming explicitly placed for you to hide behind. And in this case, this is that island. You park your carrier here and you're safe. That's your positional requirements. But I'm not actually seeing a similar one here. I think this one might be too small. So this one might have to go closer. I think this one is much more vulnerable to being YOLO'd. I wonder if they're going to change that apart. They'll figure out a carrier will die once here, and they'll be like, oh, and they'll move this island somewhere up here. But it's asymmetric, which while makes it interesting, it kind of depends on the height of these islands. Like these islands are pretty nice for cruisers to be able to lob over. But then on the flip side, if you go wide enough here, you can probably lob right back with a battleship. What's the button called? Button. But there's some really interesting options of actually going mid on this map. Like like unlike Two Brothers, where if you go middle, you're stuck. You're pointing one way and that's it. And you go in from one direction and you're pointing one way. There's some cool options here. Like if you start winning this flank and they start disengaging, instead of like chasing them as you do on Two Brothers, you're just running behind them. You can go through the gap and you can like create a crossfire. You can intercept the chase. Alternatively, if your team is losing this flank, you might go in through here and create a crossfire from here and help win the flank back. So they're significantly more tactical options on this map than something like Two Brothers because of the middle being open. Obviously, this will also mean if one flank loses, the steamroll on the other flank is going to be significantly faster. Like this, your team here starts collapsing and they start cutting away. The enemy team sails through here, and suddenly they pop out here and they're crossfiring you. Or alternatively, they just rush through here as well. Yeah, no, it gives you more options, but it also gives the enemy, of course, more options. It could be interesting. It could be interesting. It depends really on how big this is. If it's standard battle, then or standard map size nowadays, it's gonna be 40 kilometers. But we'll see. It could be interesting. Standard battle though, this is gonna be so dented because there's so many options to sit nose in here and point straight at the enemy. Like there's gonna be a lot of, I think there's gonna be a lot of stationary fights over the middle because this gap looks really big. If we look at Two Brothers from the... Wait, let me show you. If we look at Two Brothers from the top, let me show you. Because this isn't like a small... This is a Two Brothers gap. This shit is a fucking canyon. Look. Let me show you so you guys understand how big this fucking thing is. Look, this is how small Two Brothers looks on the map. You see that? So this is not a small... This is the Two Brothers gap, what we see here. This shit is a gigantic fucking canyon in comparison. This is a gigantic fucking canyon. So you're you can fully turn your ship around in this and shit. So, I'm expecting to see a lot of, like, kited ships sitting here to farm kited ships sitting here, or Nose-in Moskvas and Petros sitting here, trading against Nose-in here, and so forth. Like, there's gonna be a lot of sketchiness. Bad map for BBs, that will heavily depend on how high these islands are. It will depend on how high these islands are. Like if they're Two Brothers height, then it's gonna be... I don't know if necessarily bad for BBs, but I don't know if it's actually gonna be that bad. Like there's a fair few angles. You might just need to play a bit more active in the battleship. Now this is much more interesting. This looks much more interesting. Okay, the thing with both these caps though, what you have to see about both these caps, if the caps were further out, they could be somewhat safe. But the fact that the caps are so inside the islands like this means that these caps are really poisoned apples. What it means is, if you go into this cap, you will struggle to get out. You have to full commit. And with all these islands around, you're going to be perma-radared when you try to contest it. So both of these are... There's going to be so many banana takers. Because you dive this cap, and you get radar from somewhere here. So many angles to shoot at you. And where do you disengage? You try to turn around in the open and get out here. Good luck. You probably have to dive even deeper, like go in here or something. So both of these look really poisoned, and they're going to be really awkward to take. Unless you, like, manage to speed boost for here and maybe get here before they get a crossfire on you or something. But, yeah, no, these look very high risk to secure. The good part, though, with all these islands means that there can be, ideally, ships close enough that his sub gets spotted. You can send a lot of ASW and smash that animal. That might be good. Okay, holy shit. That's also cool. Honestly, those are very small caps, huh? You get mid control on this map, though. You probably dominate. But how do you get, like, getting mid control is tough, because, like, you can crossfire from here. Shit, if you get the flank, you crossfire from here. Controlling mid is going to be really difficult. Your gameplay testing, the appearance of the prototype of the map will be based on the two brothers already existing in the game. Okay, so they are using old assets. Upon completion, she will receive her own appearance, details of which will be published. Okay, so they use copy-pasted asset to test the gameplay, and then once they got the gameplay well, they remodel it. I actually like that. I actually like that a lot. Instead of spending a lot of time and effort on making a map look nice, but it plays like shit, they rather use existing assets to make a map that they can try, and then when they figure out the gameplay, then they polish it. That's actually, that I really like that. That's actually smart. Okay, so obviously they don't have any wave simulator or anything going on here. They haven't bothered. They're just using it for the testing. Yeah, look, he's in the middle gap. Look how huge this mid... Holy shit. Yeah, this is gigantic, this middle area. He's in the middle here, look. Holy shit. What do we believe Wargaming's words here? It is what it is. Yo, this gap is huge though, this middle gap. Holy fuck. That's actually kind of cool, and the islands are actually high enough that you can kind of have your own battle going on here in the middle, but then the second you push past the big islands, you get crossfire. The map looks like it could be a lot of fun. The map could also be a potentially, chat, I'm just saying potentially, this map could be one of the best Kleber racing maps ever. It's got a lot of Kleber racing potential. It's got a lot of Kleber racing potential. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Holy. Ready for racing, yep. Okay, so that's it. That's how big the gap is to the side here. Holy shit. Okay. God damn, yeah, the middle is gigantic. This is nothing like Two Brothers, that narrow little gap. Really steep islands they're going for here, though. Really steep, like actual mountains. So shooting over the middle is gonna be... Shooting over into the middle, except for anything, then the gaps is gonna be difficult. Also, that's this island. Look how big this island is. You can park a cruiser. You can literally park a cruiser on this island here. You can easily park a cruiser on this island here. You're gonna have these islands protecting you from here. Oh, 1 second. Stop.